They did not rule the world with chains, they ruled it with order. The Persians, an empire ruled not by chains, but by order. Before Rome ruled the world, before Alexander marched east, there was one of the most unique empires the ancient world had ever seen. This empire was not built solely on destruction. It was not built on constant fear. This empire was the Persian Empire. A power rising from the east. On the harsh and arid lands of the Iranian plateau, small tribes lived for many years. They were the Persians. But for a long time, they were not rulers. They lived under the rule of others. Until one man appeared, his name was Cyrus. Cyrus did not come to power through chaos. He united tribes that had been divided for centuries. But he did this not with the sword, but through persuasion. When he overthrew the Medes, he did not destroy their cities. He left local rulers in place. He did not interfere with traditions. In the ancient world, this was almost unheard of. An empire without chains? As Cyrus advanced east and west, cities fell before him. But the cities were not burned. Babylon opened its gates without a fight. Temples were not looted. Gods were not humiliated. The people were not exiled. Cyrus presented himself not as a conqueror, but as a guardian of order. That is why the people of Babylon did not resist him. And that is why the Persian Empire grew not only through land, but through loyalty. Loyalty born from freedom. The Persians imposed only one thing on the peoples they conquered: nothing. They did not force them to abandon their identities. Each region spoke its own language, worshipped its own gods, and largely preserved its own laws. The Persians asked for only three things: taxes, soldiers, and loyalty. This approach made the empire not fragile, but remarkably powerful. Different peoples became part of the same order. The King of Kings. Those who came after Cyrus expanded the system he had built, but one of them turned the empire into a true machine. His name was Darius. Darius divided Persian lands into satrapies. Each region had a governor, but these governors were never alone. Military power was separate. Finance was separate. Justice was separate. No one could grow too powerful on their own. This system created a unique model of governance, controlled from the center, yet functioning locally. Roads, messengers, and speed. The Persians did not only wage war, they connected. They built thousands of kilometers of roads. Messages traveled from one end of the empire to the other in days. A single message moved faster than in many modern states today. These roads were used not only for the army, but also for trade. The Persian Empire had built the nervous system of the ancient world. Fire, fate, and morality. The Persian world of belief was different. Zoroastrianism saw the universe as a struggle between good and evil. Humans were not passive. They had to choose a side. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. This philosophy formed the foundation of Persian rule. The king was not a god, but he was required to rule with justice. The clash with the West. As the Persians advanced in the east and south, they encountered small yet resilient city-states in the west, the Greeks. This encounter gave birth to some of the most famous wars in history. But for the Persians, these wars were not the empire itself. For them, the true goal was to preserve order. Decline and legacy. Centuries later, this vast system began to shake. Internal conflicts increased, kings grew weaker, and then a storm came from the east. His name was Alexander. The Persian Empire fell, but its system did not disappear. The model of governance they created inspired Rome, Byzantium, and even modern states. Why are they still remembered? The Persians did not build the largest armies. They did not fight the bloodiest wars. But they achieved something greater. They managed to hold many different peoples together under a single order for a very long time. That is why the Persians are remembered not only as conquerors, but as an empire that knew how to rule. Because some empires fall, but the order they create continues to live for centuries. Don't forget to subscribe to truly understand history and follow the trace of humanity.